In my first 6 demonstrations of this software, I decided to do so without the benefit of using the sidebar menu, which is located right over here. This little arrow can push it in and pull it out. And the reason I did so was because this is the default home screen that you'll normally see with data here that refers to BizBox itself, all customizable, and I'll get into that in a moment. The point is that when I first saw this software, this was the default screen, and I saw this whole theme of to BizBox and seeing here accounting box and address book box and just box all over the place. In addition, when I went up to run certain menu functions, everything was a to search, to look up, to add PO. Bottom line was, it sort of seemed to me like a lot of fluff and fanfare, and I didn't really take it seriously until I started to get beyond that and take a look at what was really here. I had test driven a number of different systems, and I had been striking out low-cost systems that we could use for a startup business that I was doing with my son. And so when I started to play with this, the thing was I had a hard time finding anything that was wrong with it. And so over time, I became more and more comfortable, and here we are, over 10 years in business. I've since retired, but my son is doing quite well and still utilizing this software quite effectively. So this is the normal home screen, as I mentioned, and there are a number of features that are here that actually help system navigation, which I haven't touched on yet, and I will do that today. First of all, the menu selections you see here on the left are actually duplicates of what you see up here across the top, which are the ones I've been using in these demonstrations up until now. They are almost one for one in every case. There are a couple of exceptions, but if you were to look at something like, let's say, the security box, they call it boxes, you're going to see that displayed here. And so if we look up here in the security menu, the roll down menu, we see the same selections: user, role, permission, and operation log that you see down here in the box menu. Now again, there are some exceptions. If I go into the HR box as an example and compare it to what you see up here, pretty similar. But when you look at employee card, you see those selections. Down here, if you look at employee card, there's additional selection that you can use down here to make an employee badge. And as long as we're here, I might as well go ahead and just show you real quick. Select myself as employee, and I'll say make badge. So when I hit the make employee badge, it actually generated a PDF file out of the system, and then that was what I was displaying on my computer screen. So back here again into HR, you can back out of the HR menu, and we're back into the main home screen. Okay, so I think that's enough on the menus as far as the sidebar box menu and the list of drop-down menu selections that are listed across the top. Let's take a look at some of the other features that are over here on the top of the box menus. And as you can see, one of the items, you can just quickly hit this icon and you can see whoever might be online at the present time, other users. This next icon is for the Notice Center, which is empty at the moment. When I set this company up, I haven't done anything to demonstrate, but it works in conjunction with this indicator down here that says receive notices if you have any. And basically this just allows you to communicate with other users within the company or user groups, as well as through the mail server to vendors and customers outside of the company. Then you have a couple of other options here for debugging, which I haven't used. Dashboard. This is basically, I guess, what they consider today KPIs, or key performance indicators. And so there are various performance metrics that are available, and you can scroll down through this. Any of these are customizable. I haven't spent a lot of time into this kind of detail as far as measuring any of this, but it seems to be fairly comprehensive, and so something worthy of note. Then you have a couple of items here to capture the whole page or take an area of the screen print if you'd like. And then this will always just bring us back to the home menu itself, as so. So closing out of the sidebar menu and going back to full screen for the home menu. So as far as updating the home screen, if you look down here in the bottom left corner, you'll see 2 icons that you can select. One is the edit icon, which you've seen, I think, elsewhere in my demonstrations, and then there's also the refresh key. Hitting the edit key, basically you come into the area where you can now modify text, delete text, add images, and so forth. So basically, if I want to just take the first line of text which I've added in when I customized it to make these presentations, you can see what I have down here in the display text box, and I can just hit delete and that's gone. So you can do all this type of editing here on text, and by having done so here, I have basically created now a blank screen. So I can add new text, or I could have modified what was there. But the other thing I want to show today is that if we go instead up here to the image icon here and drag it into the open field, you've created the ability of putting an image in, and now you'd have to go over here to the area where you can actually update that. So it's looking for the image. We don't have one yet, and this key right here, you touch this, and this is the folder that I have linked to this. And so now going in there, I have a Apex collage that I would like to put here for this screen, and here you have it. Now you can see that it's got to be moved and dragged up to the top, and you'll have to, I find at least, play with this a little bit to make sure that it fits exactly the way you'd like it. And I can see here that it looks like it will not until I stretch it out a little bit. And so I think I'm going to update and save that, and let's see what we get. And that is now what our home screen looks like. If I go ahead and I display it along with the side box menus, and there you have it, our new company home screen. And I think that just about does it for this presentation on home screen options. Thanks for watching.